Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay, please. Thank you for your patience with my flexible start time. So this is the third in the set of 3 group healings. When you have dogs, you have to pick up what you drop right away. Otherwise, it becomes a chew toy. All right. Anyway, so the theme of the healing is, and this set of healings is social interaction, communication. And also the 2 healings later this month on the 17th and 19th of September 2023, which are the twin set healings, will be the same theme, social interaction and communication. So while I'm waiting for confirmation that people can see and hear me, please do confirm that. I wanted to discuss sort of the crux of today's focus. There are a lot of really interesting other things that I can do in this healing, but the biggest thing is this idea, which I touched on a little bit in the survey. Lately, the surveys, they have like some little optional like reading healing question where, I walk someone like write out, try this, try this, try this. How was that for you? Basically. And so we did this thing where we, the suggestion or the, try this optional thing was like create healing flowers for yourself that match what you're craving from other people, like what you need from, what you feel like you need from the world, the validation, the acceptance, whatever that you feel like you need from other people. Go ahead and make healing energy flowers that are that exact healing vibration that you've been looking for from others, and have your angels double check them and give them to yourself, so that those cravings, subconscious often, but with your intuition and intention, you can do it anyway, even if they're subconscious desires. And then your angels check them, so you're fine. But that's sort of the idea that I want to run with today in some of the healing and clearing work that we're doing. Is what are your needs that you feel like should be met by other people, by your friendships, your family relations, your marriage, whatever, your relationships with your kids. What are those needs? Because often there's a lot more in there than you would think, and that's why people can get dissatisfied with their people in their lives, because they're not getting their needs met by these relationships and these interactions. And so, you might think, oh, well, is my marriage all that great, or these siblings suck, or, whatever. And, there may be a lot of room for improvement in all those things. But how you feel about everything can change, because you can, and that's what we're going to work on today. You can heal your wounds and clear your baggage so that your needs, you're not so needy. I mean, it's not bad to have needs. It's not wrong to have needs. But just as a reader, I've seen that a lot of people, their needs are a lot bigger than the relationships in their life can satisfy, or that any relationships could satisfy. It's because they have this confusion in their mind, thinking that they're going to get what they need from these relationships, whereas it's really more of a self-healing thing, or you need more hobbies, you need all of the above, you need some therapy, or journaling, and then your needs for others, needs that you are looking for others to fulfill, reduce a lot. And that can inspire people in your life, because then they sort of sense like, oh, okay, she doesn't need the sun and the moon from me. She just needs, this, and if I step up, I could definitely meet those needs. So some people would step up, some people just, they're already providing the level that your newly reduced needs need. And and then other people, they wouldn't step up, but you now are much stronger. You're not in this sort of weakened, depleted state waiting for other people to meet your needs. So that's the crux of what I want to do today, is to sort of I guess clear that confusion about what are your needs that should be met by yourself, and what needs. And it's not like I'm trying to scold people, I mean, I have it too. It's like, say you don't have enough friendships, right? And you're like, well, all that I'm feeling would be fixed if I just had the right friendships, right? Well, it could be that if you look at, okay, well, these are my needs that I'm feeling should be met by friendships. Well, realistically, even if they're really amazing friendships, they could only meet this many needs. So by having this many needs, and you're thinking, well, that's just because I need friendships that are at a certain level. You could be actually like pushing away the friends you have, or just not attracting the friends you need because your need is just too giant, and it's like a mismatch. But once you heal and clear enough, then you're so much stronger, and you're in a better place, and so your needs are more realistic. So then even a good friendship could meet those needs. It could make it easier for you to manifest a new good friendship, or appreciate the ones you have, because you don't feel so like you're starving socially, or So I hope that makes sense. But I wanna really nail that, and then maybe I have other really cool ideas based on reading people's surveys. So thanks everybody for your surveys, including newbies. I was glad to get some newbie surveys that I hadn't gotten after the first healing, so it was very good. Also some surveys from people that I haven't healed in a while, and I didn't get their first survey, but I got their second survey, so better late than never for sure. It helped me to know where you're at, and helped me to read what you might need for this healing. So good stuff. Thank you very much, everybody, for just saying how you're doing in the post healing survey. Thank you. So I'm just getting my sheets ready. I have sheets with everybody's names on them all. 130 people. I'll be healing 130 people that purchased this set of healings 2 months ago. The next set of healings, they're 2 months ahead how I sell them. So on September 15th, the November healings are going up for sale, which is blowing my mind that in 2 months it's November. Like, I'm a little bit resistant to that fact, which I need to work on. But yes, it is September. But September is still, much of September is officially still summer, like seasonally speaking. I mean, if you have kids and they go back to school, it may not feel that way, but seasonally and garden-wise, I'm still hoping for the tomatoes. I'm still hoping for those tomatoes. Come on. Tomatoes, etc. But everything else has pretty much, like, I've at least experienced a good amount of it. But the tomatoes, we haven't gotten a single. I was very late, planting my tomatoes in the ground. So next year I'll be better. But anyway, we don't have any of the garden, from our garden, tomatoes that we've eaten yet. So that's a thing for sure. A lot of unripe ones, and just monstrous tomato plants, giant. But we haven't eaten any tomatoes yet. We did finish harvesting our blueberries, finally. There's so many. I mean, there's still some on the bushes, but we're like, okay, enough. So we put a whole bunch in the freezer. We don't really have that big of a freezer, so we had to, you know, limit. But so that was cool. Okay. Thank you for my comments. Hey Janet, I can see and hear you from Las Vegas. 85 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, we're cold today, as you can see from my, I mean, this morning. Last night, I think it went down to high 40s. Right now, I looked at the thermometer just a few minutes ago. It's like it's outside in the shade in my backyard, which is usually cooler, way cooler than the front yard, is 53 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's pretty chilly for early September. Anyway, hello Janet, we can see and hear you. Hello to you. Someone says, hey Janet, love from Holland. Well, hello to you. Hello, hello. Hey Janet, we can see and hear you in Evanston, 85 and sunny. Evanston, home of Dave's Rock Shop. And a nice rose garden. We have a nice rose garden with little benches and stuff. It's very cute. With a little fountain. Nice wallpaper change, by the way. Is it basil? It is, in fact. It is Persian basil. Thank you for asking. I haven't shown it off today yet. It's new. Let's see. There we go. So that's a close-up, an extreme close-up of Persian basil, which did very well in the garden. I made pesto. That's another thing I have to do, is make more pesto and like try to freeze some version of basil, because we have a crazy amount of Persian basil. It did way better than I thought it would. So this is, I too am resistant to November and need to work on it as well. Yes. Yeah, so we'll see if that works its way into this healing or not. I really need to nail what I was talking about, so we'll see. There's so many other cool things I could work on that I saw when I was looking at everybody and their surveys. So we'll see. But sometimes I can get distracted from like the main, most important thing, so that's not going to happen today. Damn it. Hello from Ottawa, Canada. We are having a heat wave. It is really hot, but it's also nice to catch a breeze. Heat wave in Canada. These are strange times indeed. All right. I'm pretty close to Canada for people that aren't as familiar with US geography. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, which is the west side of Washington State and Oregon State, and I'm in Washington State, so that's like the northern part of the Pacific Northwest. Although I'm not in the northern part of the state, but still, it's not that far a drive for me to go to Canada as a tourist. And actually, we get these as I don't know how many states do this, but our state, you can get an enhanced driver's license that allows you to, go to Canada with your driver's license as your ID. So I have that, but I haven't done it. We have too many senior pets. I mean, like, I don't really travel far. We have like maybe a 3-hour window, 3.5-hour window of time that we can be away from the house without disasters occurring. So that's very limiting. But someday that will not be the case, and I will have exciting travel stories for you all. For myself as well. All right, so I'm gonna be quiet. And of course we're gonna do 4 essentials. Somebody mentioned their baggage got stirred up and they felt tired and they had a slight headache yesterday. You got whacked. Headache, whack. Like a healing. I don't think I've ever had somebody get a headache from a healing, because headaches are damage. Sometimes maybe if your damage doesn't get healed and then you get more present because of the healing, then you feel the damage. So that's maybe how it could be an indirect result of a healing, but usually that's not what happens. Usually, your mother-in-law or somebody, your neighbor, somebody throws a bunch of energy at you in between healings, and causes damage, and you get a headache. You can be pretty functional otherwise because you just got a healing, so your aura is stronger, your chakras are stronger, so you're still like going and you're productive. So maybe you're not adding it all up like headache equals damage because you're productive. But yeah, so headache, check for damage, check for aura damage, compressed energy in your aura layers all around your head, and check for head meridian damage, major chakras, 765. Create rings, just double check that kind of thing. And when in doubt, if you can't intuitively double check, just heal it and repair it, like the 4 essentials that we're about to start. Okay, good. So now we will do quiet time. Oh wait, I want more hellos. Hello from India. Hello to you. Happy to join in today. Yes, welcome. Hey Janet, sunny in San Francisco. In the US, 63 Fahrenheit, and the fog rolled out around 10:30 a.m. We have fog, but usually it's in the fall, winter, late fall, winter. We can have some really cool fog that looks very majestic, which I'm sure is not fun when you have to drive to work, but I don't have to drive to work, so for me it just looks magical. The beauty of working from home, which I definitely recommend if anyone has the option of working from home. Still need discipline. It doesn't fix all social and energy problems, but it's a cool thing to work from home, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I will actually be quiet now for about 3 minutes as I finish my prep and say hi to the 130 people that I'm about to start healing. And towards the end of that quiet, I'll start the healing like this, but I'll still be quiet. But then shortly after that, I'll talk. And then, for the rest of the healing, I'm talking out loud, walking you through what I do as I do it. So if you did want to heal yourself based on what I'm saying, like, use it as a walkthrough, you can. It's optional, of course. You could do anything. You could cook, you could clean, you could sleep, you could go to the dentist, you could walk on a beach, you could garden, you could drive your kids around, whatever you need to do. All right, I will be quiet now. Hope you enjoy it. All right, thank you for waiting. So when you heal yourself, you can use a copy out in front of you of your own energy system that you create with your intention or your thoughts. You don't have to be able to see energy yet to do it. You just think it. You just create a copy, make a copy out in front of you of yourself. If at the time you're using a copy of your entire energy system, that would be all your 17 auras, both your groundings, and then your physical body and your astral body are inside there. A couple people said that they're reading in 2D lately, which is fine. So you don't have to imagine things three-dimensional. If you don't want to, you can imagine them more sort of flat, like maybe you would sketch out on a piece of paper. And you could sketch on a piece of paper. You could sketch on like a dry erase board. That way it's more like fluid. So when you're looking at something different, you just get rid of the old thing if you want. Or just imagine things out in front of you but if you want to draw, that's fine in addition, or if you want to imagine in 2D instead of 3D, whatever works for you. So let's do grounding. I take notes while I work, not because it's especially fun, but just because, I mean, it's okay, but it's because I do a detailed healing summary in the comment section later with timestamp links so that you can use it if you want. One of these days I'm going to ask people, like, do you actually ever use it? Because it's a lot of work, but I know at least a couple people use it, but I don't know if a lot of people use those summaries. If you use those summaries, give it a thumbs up, like that comment with the big summary in it, just so I know, because it's hard for me to tell like how many people actually use those summaries. Oh, and if you could give this live stream a thumbs up if you want, if you think it's a good thing, because that helps. Okay, so grounding. You can recreate your groundings, both of them, astral and physical. Make them big and wide. Make them come up high as your third chakra, where your ribs meet, where the sternum bone ends, right there. So red or orange or yellow for your groundings. And make them wide all the way down to the core of the earth. That's the whole point of the grounding, is to connect you to the core of the earth, which is stabilizing. The core of the earth is, nice and soothing and mellow, and there's no big ups and downs with the core of the earth. So, and it like cleans out energy, so you could send whatever down there and it just cleans it up and goes back to wherever it needs to go. So it's nice. And you can bring up earth energy as much as you want through your grounding, and if it's big and wide and unblocked, it's just easier to release. It's easier to bring up earth energy. So, and just make a copy out in front of you of your 2 brand new groundings that you made. And imagine any blocks in those groundings and melt them with gold light from your hands. So you have a big hand chakra in the palm of the hand, and then fingertip chakras, one in each fingertip. And so you set these chakras to be a metallic gold color, so that with your intention, so that when they generate energy, which they do naturally, it would be that color of metallic gold, which is a good color for releasing and melting away your resistance, letting go, repairing. So we're combing through both your groundings and just run gold light through them, through the blocks especially, so that they melt. Sometimes you have blocks right at the bottom of the grounding, kind of plugging up the suction so the earth isn't like pulling your stuff downward, so you can just melt those blocks away. Kind of scoop under them, melt them. A couple people said they had to redo their grounding or unblock it a lot in the last day, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It can just mean you're releasing bigger things than you usually do, which is good. It means you're letting go of maybe some old yucky stuff that you've been dragging around. So If it's to the point where it's like, okay, it's crazy and impractical how much you have to unblock your grounding, then maybe also work on non-resistance, like melting some blocks that are causing maybe subconscious parts of you to like clench and hang on to things that are not good. So just melt blocks related to resistance, your resistance, and then just keep unblocking your grounding. Okay, so that's creating grounding and unblocking it. So then indie grounding. So indie grounding is where you still use that copy of both your groundings and you use gold light and melt away connections on the outer surface to other people. The outer surface of your grounding. So you just use gold light all the way down and melt away any connections to other people's grounding, because even if it's a young kid, it's better that they have their own grounding. It goes all the way down, not into their parents, not into other people, just all the way straight down, and your grounding going all the way straight down. Okay, then aura repair of your 17 auras. And I do write out in the healing summary how it is that you have 17. Because some people, they just say, well, most people actually, they just say your aura, like it's one thing. But your physical body's major chakras, along your physical body spine, those are 7 chakras, that generates an aura. And then your astral body, major chakras along your astral body spine, that generates an aura as well, and those are different auras. So one could be all nice and one could be really ripped up and blocked. So there are 2 different auras. And then you have 15 Wei Qi auras, which are part of your strong boundaries energy. And they're gold flowy force fields. So that's how you have 17 auras. So let's do it. Just comb through all of them and check for rips. Because the whole point is you need to know, do you need to repair your auras? But the thing is too, as part of this, we'll do repair and unblocking. And aura unblocking is a big deal. Like, I've noticed it's a bigger deal than I thought it was. Like, because, okay, for me, my aura is pretty strong. One would hope, right? And so these days, it takes me to get like a significant energy, and I do get significant energy attacks, from like some of the biggest invasive beings on the planet as a group healer. That's why I always warn people, don't be a group healer unless you are ready for the punishment that comes with it. Which would typically be like you're a very seasoned professional healer, like very, very seasoned, and okay, it's worth it, to get that level of constant energy attacks. But anyway, so that said, my aura needs to get attacked like about 5 times before there's actual rips that cause inner damage. First time, nothing happens. Second time, nothing happens. Third time, I start to get inner bruising, which is, plates of hard energy. Fourth time, more plates of hard energy form within, more bruising, right? But no rips yet. Fifth time, all that hardness lets the 5th, energy attack come through pretty deep, more deeply. So then there's some level of damage, maybe chakras, some chakras, all chakras, something. So with most people, it's a lot faster than that, and so it might just be, 1 energy attack and you get a lot of damage. But you would still get less damage if you had less bruising and hard stuck energy everywhere. But some people, maybe they get 1 energy attack and there's no rip, and then, but there's a bunch of bruising, plates of hard energy, and then the second one is like, that's it, and it rips, and then they get chakra damage. So the point is that unblocking your aura makes your aura safer. is the point. Makes it stronger. So I'm going to start to emphasize that just as much as aura repair is aura unblocking, which is also melting, scarring, and bruising, which we've been doing, but I just haven't really emphasized it as a safety issue, which it is. Sooner. So we'll do aura repair. So that was all explaining the safety value of unblocking your aura. Which includes melting or scarring, melting or bruising, and also just, random energy block clearing. Okay, so now we will do that. So the doing of aura repair and unblocking. Okay. So first, just assess, right? Assess, where's the stuck energy? How much of it is there in your auras? Where are the rips? How many rips? Just get a sense of it. The more you practice and play around with that, the better you'll get. So that may seem ludicrous to be like, just get a sense of it. Jana, are you kidding me? All I see is black. Well, yeah, but use your intuition and use your hands and just kind of wing it, and you'll get better. You won't get better by not doing it. So anyway, so that's the assessing part, right? And then we're going to repair the rips first. So we'll use composite copy technique. So you make an image out in front of you that looks like an aura rip, like maybe a big valley. And with your intention, you say, okay, well, this represents all the rips in any of my auras that are good to repair right now. And then you just use gold light, and you have to clean out this representative rip, this composite copy rip. Just clean it out with lots of gold light, and you can clean it out with sticky gold wax, which is gold light from your hands that hardens and sticks to whatever's not used. So then you can lift it out more easily because it's like a big lump, right? So fill up your rip with sticky gold wax, have it stick to whatever's not you, lift all that out. Angels, here you go. Once again, fill up your your rip with sticky gold wax. Have it stick to whatever's not you, including hard objects stuck in the rip, which, maybe have been thrown at you. And then lift all that out. Angels, here you go. And if there are any invasive beings in the way or invasive people in the way, you can just say, angels, can you help remove, can you recycle any of these invasive beings? And the people, you can just wash them out yourself. Lots of gold light. So then just keep using gold light so that the rip can be repaired. And sometimes there's still a little like scarred up little valley there. So just use extra gold light to melt away any remnant of the rip. All right, good job. So that's the basics of aura repair, but then now we'll do more aura unblocking because, as I said in my little explaining part, it's important for safety. So just, we can just do a literal comb through. So you imagine all your auras, you imagine your body, physical body and astral body, and both your groundings, and just kind of hunt for plates of stuck energy anywhere. They could be little, they could be big. Just let the gold light melt away all that junk and wash it down your grounding, all the way down to the core of the earth. So we're unblocking your auras. You can have hard energy around the outer surface. You can have hard energy anywhere in the aura layers or in the auras anywhere. Because the Wei Chi auras don't have layers. They're just big flowy force fields. Big gold flowy force fields. Oh, and redo your gold buffer zones. I've been forgetting to say that. So gold buffer zones. There will be an 18-minute reference video in the healing summary to teach you about those if you don't know about gold buffer zones. Gold buffer zones, which also help with aura safety. So especially unblocking up above and below, the upper and lower part, the very uppermost and very lowermost part of your auras. So like down here and up here. So especially those people with a slight headache, unblock around your head, all around your head. Maybe a little bit extra in the good karma window area back there and behind, you know, where your manifestation wings are, just behind your upper back, just your whole. Because, you know, that's a common spot for the rips to happen, but that's because it's a common spot for there to be stuck energy. Behind your head, behind your neck, behind your shoulders, behind your upper back. Okay, so that was just finishing aura unblocking, including, I didn't say what they were much, but good karma windows behind the base of your skull and your astral body aura, and etc. in the upper back of aura. Of auras. All right, so now we're done with aura repair and aura unblocking. All right. So creative ring, repair and unblocking. Creative rings appear 1, 2, 3. So they're gold, and they generate gold light. Then comes down. It kind of, you know, in like drawing sometimes, you know, angel halos. You know, that's sort of where they are. 1, 2, 3. But anyway, so doesn't mean you're an angel. You have creative rings because everyone does. Well, just make a copy of your creative rings out in front of you and repair them with gold light. Melt cords going into them. Oh, man. You can have invasive beings that maybe even if they can't cord you because you melted the cords and you repaired your creative rings, and so your flaps of your creative rings are closed as opposed to sticking out. This would be a drawing of creative rings flaps sticking out, which is an irritated state for your creative rings because of cords and beings or people sending energy to the rings that is not your energy, so it's like a puffed out in an irritated state. But so anyway, you melt the cords, unblock enough, those flaps, they fall shut. So then it's this nice smooth ring, and it's the outer surface is smooth. It's much harder for people to cord and beings to cord. But sometimes, you know, a being will still like send down a lot of energy. So there'll be this, you know, like a flashlight beam of like white light or black light or something forceful, you know, and that's uncomfortable, right? But you don't have to put up with that. You can sort of have a policy where, you know, if any invasive being is screwing with you, you're going to have them recycled. So that way it kind of, you know, excuse the expression if they're kids, you know, but just explain to them I'm 53, so I get to swear. But you come off in the spirit world as more of a badass if you don't allow yourself to be beaten up on a spirit level. You know, like if an invasive being is going to be sending down some big flashlight of white energy at your 7th chakra from above, you need to recycle. You know, ask your angels to recycle those beings. If there are 10 of them, have them all recycled at once. You know, ask your angels to do it. Because that way you kind of get this, you know, like the invasive beings can kind of read like, ooh, she's not a pushover. You know, I think I'll bother somebody else. You know. And if they bother you, then you have them recycled, and then they can't bother anybody else. So that's even better. But, you know. So, okay, so you can look at your 7th chakras and your creative rings above that and see, okay, well, is there any energy shooting down, you know, at your creative rings and your 7th chakras? And if so, how many sources of light is it, you know? And it's not typical that a person would do that if they can't cord. Usually they would just do it with cording. But like to just somehow put part of their energy above you and try to send like a flashlight of energy down, or like a big stream of, you know, pressure wash like water down at you, that's not typically what a person would do, like an in-body human being, spirit. So it's usually some invasive being, right? So you just look at your 7th chakras, your creative rings, how many beams of light are like sort of bugging you, you know, shooting down, trying to pressure you. You know, they're 40 or they're 3, you know, whatever it is. And just say, angels, can you recycle all these invasive beings that are messing with me? And then you can do a little extra repair, you know, also of your 7th chakras. I go like that because the orientation is this way for your 7th chakras. Purple is a good color for your 7th chakras, but it's an open cylinder like all chakras, but it's, you know, it's oriented this way. So that's what I mean by this. It's oriented this way. So your 7th chakras and then your creative rings. So just see, do you still have any sort of flashlight beaming down at you kind of energy? And if so, how many sources of it are there, just intuitively? Like, is there just one? Is there a whole bunch? And it's just for your information, I think, you know, but you could just say, okay, well, I think there are invasive beings doing that. Angels, can you recycle all the invasive beings doing that? And a couple deep breaths, stay here. So now go ahead and repair the top of your 7th chakras and your creative rings a little extra, because now they don't have that intense energy coming down at them anymore. Most likely. I mean, you can test to see if there's maybe 1 or 2 still, and then just say, angels, can you recycle those beings? Why wouldn't your angels do them all at once? Well, Sometimes they do all of them at once, but then more move in. You know, they're like queued up, and so those get gone. So they're like, oh, good, I can go in. You know, they're not smart enough to realize, like, oh, is that good? So, but anyway, just you can check a couple times until you think, okay, yeah, that's it, and then just do repairs. Like the top surface of the surface of any of these chakras should be like water, like you know, like how a water can ripple. Surface of water can ripple, and it's flowy. It's not like hard and scarry and scratchy and burnt. So same thing for the round openings of your seventh chakra and the bottom and the top. It should be like surface of water. So like purple water that's flowy. And if it's not, if it's like black and crunchy and hard, just use lots of gold light and melt all that junk, or lift some of it off and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Until you get like purple flowy water that, you know, is the color of purple you like. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. So this is we're repairing the top surface of your seventh chakras since we've gotten rid of those evasive beings that were shooting energy down. It's just a nice opportunity to heal. And you may have some hard objects stuck in there that you didn't notice before, but just lift them out with gold light. Angels, here you go. Lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. Again, lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. And repair the little gashes that are left over. Lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. So again, we're repairing the top surface of your seventh chakras, both astral and physical, so that they're more like just flowy water, you know, like the surface of water. And we're just repairing enough, removing hard objects, lift them out, repair. Lift out the hard objects, give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Repair. Lift out. You can do sticky gold wax too, to have the sticky gold wax stick to the hard objects and then lift them out all at once with the wax. Angels, here you go. One more time, sticky gold wax. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Again, this is the top surface of both your seventh chakras. And then your creative rings again. The bottom surface of your seventh chakra, I didn't do as much work on that. So down here, again, that would also be like purple flowy water if it were repaired enough. So you can spin it, you know, this is just a copy, right? So you can turn it so you can get a nicer perspective of it, maybe in profile or up close. Somebody mentioned that they were feeling lost. And I think it's just that they're much more present and they felt some blocks that they had that make them feel lost. It's like sometimes you can have a lot of dramas that distract you. You know, maybe you're overly focused on, you know, if people in your life are getting along or, you know, some workplace thing. And once you clear the blocks that balance you more, so then you have enough inner awareness and you're not just distracting yourself with external stuff, then sometimes it's not an instant fantastic feeling. Sometimes you're like, I feel lonely or I feel lost, and it could be true, but it's just blocks, it's just inner wounds that totally can be healed. It's just that normally people distract themselves so that they're not aware of that inner stuff. Because they don't realize the inner stuff is super workable and it's like really fun to make progress on it because then it's like, you know, it's very meaningful. You know, if that inner stuff could actually improve, it's like, whew, that's great, right? Woohoo! So anyway, so I guess we're doing your seventh chakra. So if you have blocks in your seventh chakra that cause you to feel lost, go ahead and melt those away. The seventh chakra is like quick knowing, you know, knowing things, intuition, certainty, confidence, identity. It's related to also inspiration. Your creative rings and your seventh chakra help you with inspiration. So yeah, so just now that we're working creative rings and your seventh chakras, just wash out anything or remove it with your intention, like move it to the side, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Anything in the way of you feeling a sense of positive direction versus feeling lost, right? So just notice any blocks in your creative rings and your seventh chakras that make you feel lost or directionless, and just move those out. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Again, any blocks in your creative rings or your seventh chakras that make you feel lost or directionless, move those out. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Okay, so that was some creative ring repair and unblocking. Oh, repair, I did it, but I didn't say out loud much about it. So repair for creative rings is like the damage could look like cracks or big missing pieces, hard objects stuck in them like razor blades or knives or something, or anything other than smooth gold, 3 smooth gold rings. So just you know, if you have any cracks, just kind of use enough gold light that they grow back nice and repaired and smooth. On the inside too, the inside of the 3 rings, you can have, you know, hard, crusty energy, so you can just melt that out with gold light. And again, move out any energy in your creative rings or your seventh chakra that make you feel directionless or lost. Just be aware of that, move it out. You could blow it up, or you can, if you're healing yourself, or melt it with gold light. Anything left over, just say, angels, here you go. All right, good job. So that was sort of a lot more than we would normally do, maybe, in that section of creative ring repair and unblocking. But I liked it. I hope you did too. So we did creative ring repair and unblocking, and we also repaired the surfaces, the opening surfaces of the 7th chakras. Including, you know, removing hard objects and then doing repair, so that it's like flowy water, surface of the water. And then we also, with creative rings and the 7th chakras, we moved out energy causing you to feel lost or directionless. From your, which is typically, I mean, it could be other chakras, but a lot of it would be in the 7th chakra and the creative rings. So you just move it out, melt it away with gold light. All right, good job. So there's that. So the only thing left in the 4 essentials would be chakra repair and unblocking. In general, and to help the theme. of improved social interaction and communication. Ooh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I think with this section of chakra repair and unblocking, we're gonna like flow into a lot of theme related with that. That like what I discussed in the intro about subconscious needs and addressing a lot of your needs through repair and unblocking, so that your social needs are not unnaturally large due to a need for inner work. Okay, so chakra repair first, just standard chakra repair and unblocking. You make a copy out in front of you, basically like this, like an open cylinder. And with your intention, you say, okay, well, this represents all my chakras, my major and minor chakras in my body and my spirit. So that includes acupuncture points, it includes major chakras along your spine, it includes all your chakras. So, gold light to repair. So damage can look like cracks, big missing pieces, just part of it just completely blown out, scratches that don't belong there, gashes that shouldn't be there. So just lots of gold light to repair damage. With the smaller chakras, like acupuncture point, minor chakras, those could even just be like completely crushed. So just use so much gold light that they just uncrush themselves and rebuild themselves. And just keep breathing, and maybe wiggle your toes, wiggle your butt. You can, multitask and give yourself butt muscle exercises at the same time. Do. I'm just thinking about, there's a certain group of like spiritual people that would be so horrified that I even used the phrase butt muscles at the same time as repairing chakras. Oh my god. So funny. But I've already pissed that group off because I teach this stuff for free to anybody who wants to watch, which is like totally violating one of their codes. So again, what are we doing? Chakra repair. We're using composite copy technique. You make a copy with your intention and have it represent all your major and minor chakras. This is the basic shape of all chakras, although some are much smaller than that, of course. If you have any hard objects stuck in the chakras, so like someone throws something, maybe it got stuck, like especially like the smaller, like the ones like some meridian in your head that has a whole bunch of acupuncture points, which are minor chakras. If you have enough aura damage and the hard objects get really in, you could literally have one just like sticking out of one of your acupuncture points, which it really gets in the way of flow and hurts. So just imagine any hard object stuck in your chakras, and just you can lift them out with your intention, or you could use sticky gold wax that sticks to the hard objects if that's better for you. But just get the hard objects out and get your angels. Angels, here you go. Get the hard objects out. Angels, here you go. Get the hard objects out. Angels, here you go. So again, this is repairing and unblocking all your major and minor chakras. Unblocking too is really important because sometimes the chakra can, when it gets damaged, it can get also very, very blocked up. And so the blocks might be in the way of you repairing. So remove the blocks, angels, here you go. Remove the blocks, angels, here you go. And just do more repair. And if you have any beings that are at all messing with you, invasive beings, just imagine them and just be like, angels, can you recycle all these? So now we're going to shift into, we're still doing chakra repair and unblocking, but it's more theme related. And I'm going to do a bigger bunch of this than I might normally at this time, just because I feel like it. So, so like, for example, with all your chakras, usually fifth chakra is for communication, but you know, using your intuition, your confidence, having courage, having self-acceptance when you communicate, you know, so it could be a bunch of chakras we're talking about, right? So are there any beings that affect you at all when you're trying to communicate? Are there any invasive beings that affect you when you're trying to communicate? If so, you know, they have some sort of link to your chakras. They're either sitting right in there or they're far off courting. So you can just imagine the close-up group of invasive beings and the far-off group of invasive beings, just like, you know, like if you see some dust on the floor, like don't freak yourself out about it, you know, but just be like, angels, can you recycle any beings that are anywhere near my chakras or affecting my chakras from afar? Can you recycle any invasive beings, especially ones that screw me when I'm trying to communicate? Angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? Because again, you want to be a badass. You do not want to be taken advantage of, right? I mean, I would think. It's up to you, but that's my suggestion, right? Be a badass. Do not tolerate, you know, getting tongue-tied or whatever, right? So just tongue-tied could be energy blocks, but a lot of times it's, you know, energy being thrown at you from some invasive being, maybe a person, but, you know, we'll deal with the beings first. So again, this is all your chakras. It's a composite copy of all your chakras. Are there any invasive beings that screw with you when you're trying to communicate? Maybe some are close up, somewhere in your space. So just imagine that bunch, like a bunch of clouds. Angels, can you recycle these beings? Maybe a bunch are messing with you from afar through cords. So just imagine that like a far off bunch of clouds. Angels, can you recycle all those invasive beings? And what we already did for the seventh chakras during that creative ring section, because I added seventh chakra into the creative ring section, but we worked on that surface of the round openings of the seventh chakra in a decent amount of detail. But now we'll just do all the rest of them. So all the rest of the major chakras, 7 astral and 7 physical along your spine, they also are cylinder shaped, and you want the surface of the round opening to be like flowing water of whatever color the chakra is. So third chakra, nice color, is yellow. Fourth, green, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. Right? I do have an email handout on chakras if you need to see that written out. You can just say, Janet, can you email me the free chakra handout? My email is janet@janetreadings.com. And if I don't know you, just say hi, say who you are, you know. I don't mind. I like meeting people. So, okay, so we're healing and repairing all chakras, especially right now, this outer surface of the round openings, right? You want it to be flowy like water. So for the first chakra, red flowy water, second chakra, orange flowy water, third chakra, yellow flowy water. You get the point. So again, keep unblocking the round openings of these chakras. And more repair just in case you need it. You could have hard objects stuck in these, surfaces, like little spears. So just lift those out. Angels, here you go. And repair the little holes left over. Lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. So, so I was talking about, this is more chakra work, but, we'll add other things to it. So it's, I was talking about in the intro about your needs, and you have like sort of oversized social needs, which are the result of having inner wounds or inner baggage that you need to clear or heal. So we could do the, the inner wounds part. We'll go back and do more chakra stuff. But inner wounds, you just imagine them like slashes out in front of you, and then you paint them with gold light, and they melt away. So inner wounds is like, just something ripped inside of you. Something just, it's not exactly an aura rip. It's, I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's like a vulnerability that just didn't fix itself, So you just imagine them out in front of you. Any inner wounds, especially that impact you socially, make you have oversized social needs. What you feel are oversized social needs, but they're really not. So maybe it's like you don't have a lot of friends, which is a fact, but maybe that really, really kind of bothers you, and you just figure, well, if I had enough friends, that wouldn't bother me. But it's probably also that you have a bunch of inner wounds that you're feeling, and you just associate one with the other when you don't have to. You could just heal the inner wounds and then feel way better about not having enough friends until you get those friends. So anyway, just imagine out in front of you slashes that represent any inner wounds that make you have oversized needs, oversized what you interpret as social needs, but they're really inner wounds that you have. So just imagine those inner wounds like slashes out in front of you, and melt them away with lots of gold light from your hands. And just relax, keep breathing, don't rush it. Some of these inner wounds could be from past lives, so just, you don't have to feel any of it, but just paint them with gold light and let the wound melt away. And you can keep putting more inner wounds out in front of you. The idea is you want to do as much as is healthy and gentle. But anyway, these are inner wounds that cause you to have what you perceive as social needs, but they may not actually be social needs. They're not realistic social needs. They're just this sort of deeper, bigger cravings for social whatever, social validation, social support. But it's really just some inner wounds you have. So just imagine any inner wounds that at all, in your mind you're interpreting socially. And just imagine them out in front of you like rips, and just say, angels, is it okay to heal all these? If you're ever thinking like, am I doing too many? That way the angels will remove some if it's too much. But just the ones that are still there, any inner wounds, just melt them away with lots of gold light. All right, so that's melting inner wounds. Abel's having a really resistant time. That's melting inner wounds. that maybe you're interpreting as social needs, but it's really just inner wounds making you feel just a really deeper dissatisfaction socially. Okay, so that's healing your inner wounds. So then let's do, related to that, related to addressing these needs that you feel are social needs, but maybe, a bunch of them you can satisfy yourself. Clearing blocks. We'll clear blocks or baggage. Blocked energy, baggage is the same thing, really. So we'll clear blocks that contribute to this sort of larger than realistic social need or social cravings. So just put out in front of you any blocks. It could be like giant mountains. It could be little boxes, whatever works for your brain. But any baggage of yours that you're interpreting that makes you feel a social need, makes you feel needy, it just affects what you need from other people. And maybe makes it, pretty giant, what you're craving from other people, from relationships, from social interactions. Obviously we want you to have positive social interaction, but sometimes you need too much from it, and it's because you're blocked up. So just pile up all these blocks that affect your perception of your social needs, your sense of your social needs, and melt these blocks. You could blow them up too if you're healing yourself. But again, you could imagine your blocks contributing to your social needs, like mountains or rocks or stacks of books, however you want to imagine them, and just melt them with gold light. You could say, angels, can you help me clear all this? And again, just put out in front of you any blocks that impact your social needs. Maybe you think, well, I think my social needs are pretty realistic, but there could be subconscious stuff, so it's always a good idea to do. So just put out in front of you any baggage that you have that's affecting your sense of social needs, your satisfaction with relationships you have, just your perception of what you need on any level socially. And just put all those blocks out in front of you and melt them away. It's never a bad idea to melt your baggage, right? So angels, can you double check all this? Is this good to clear? And then just go ahead and clear it. Okay, so that was clearing blocked energy that, it could be in your fourth chakra, your fourth layer, it could be in your second chakra, your second layer, it could be in all sorts of different places. So we just stacked it out in front of you so you don't have to know where it was. But it's clearing blocks so that it sort of realigns your sense of your social needs, what you need from people. Because sometimes, like, the best example is like if somebody's married or dating somebody, like that primary relationship, which it's okay if you don't have that too, but it's just a classic example. But if you don't have it too, then that's actually a great example too, because you might figure, well, if I had a good partner, I wouldn't be feeling any of this, right? I would just be fine. And, if only that would fix everything, right? A lot of times you think something will fix everything, but you really have other wounds and other baggage you're attributing to that situation. So then when you find the right guy or the right girl or the right person, there's all this inner stuff going on still. So it's good, even if, or maybe especially if you're single, to work this kind of issue so that then your needs become more realistic, and they're not just a whole bunch of inner baggage and inner wounds as well. So then you're more likely to be able to be satisfied once you do get a compatible relationship. And it could help you manifest a compatible relationship a little more quickly as well. So it's good stuff. All right, so that was clearing blocks about social needs that impact your perception of social needs. So then let's do something similar to what we did in the survey, or I suggested that people do in the survey, which was the last survey, which was to think of what are you looking for from the world or from relationships and social interactions. What are you craving? What level of validation, of support, comfort are you looking for from other people? And plenty of that could be healthy and appropriate, and that's fine. But the thing is, it's really nice if you can also, in addition to maybe having these great relationships, you can give yourself healing energy at that exact vibration that you're craving from the world and from other people. And that's fine. And then your angels double check it and it's safe and you give it to yourself. And that is very strengthening. And it's nice because you have control over doing that. You don't have control over, how many friendships you have. Maybe sometimes, I mean, you can reduce your number of friendships just by, getting rid of people in your life, but you can't, sometimes manifesting a friendship is a little more nuanced, when you meet the person and all that. So meeting your own needs with flower healing can help in the meantime, and just help as a wellness thing. So, okay, so just think of, so that was explaining, where's my pen? There we go. That was explaining. So then now we will do, all right, so just think of all that you're looking for from other people and from the world at large, and just make that into energy healing flowers for yourself. Make it out of universal healing energy. It could be rainbow colors, it could be gold, or a mix. Many flowers as you need. What is the energy you're craving from other people, from society at large, from the world? And then say, angels, can you double check my flowers? So then your angels will change whatever is needed so they're just right for you. And then go ahead and give them to yourself. And breathe in. Breathe into all the cells in your body. You could redo your grounding. Nice and wide and flowing. Unblock it, especially in the back. Unblock the back of your auras. So we'll do it again. Just think of, what are you looking for from the world? What are you looking for from other people? What level of validation, support, safety, kindness, thoughtfulness, all that good stuff. And you could still get it from the world, but in the meantime, you can give it to yourself. So just make it out of universal healing energy, all that validation and kindness and support and love and trust or whatever, right? And just making it as energy healing flowers for yourself. And then just say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. One more time. What are you looking for from others? What are you looking for socially? What are you looking for from the world? What levels of trust and kindness and safety and support and understanding, right? And just make that exact vibration out of healing flowers for yourself. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. All right, that was awesome. Hope you liked it. I think we're almost done, just because I really want this healing to be laser focused. Only other thing I want to do Uh, all right, two more things. um, we haven't done it in a while in these group healings. I don't think that I remember, but I don't have a great memory. But it could have been a while since we did home clearing, home energy clearing. Sometimes when you have trouble sleeping, especially if it's like everybody in your house has trouble sleeping, there can be some really off energy in the house. It could be like pretty innocent. Like for example, one client, she had like a couple ghosts that had found her and were just trying to talk to her. Ghosts are people like you and me, but when they die, their bodies died, they didn't cross over, and go to heaven automatically, which, the vast majority of people cross over, even if you weren't spiritual in your life. It's like super easy. As your body's dying, the angels come, you go with them subconsciously, yada yada, it just happens. Right? But in rare circumstances, there's just so much turmoil surrounding the person, like around their aura, that they can't see their angels, which are right outside their aura. And so all they see is like the tornado surrounding them of all their turmoil. They can't see their angels. So if they don't see their angels, they don't go with them to heaven. And so they just stick around as ghosts, and they can see other people that are still alive in their lifetime. And so that's what happened to my client. Like she was going around somewhere and these ghosts saw her, and she saw them on a spirit level, subconsciously. And they're like, oh, well, maybe we'll go with you and you can help us figure all this out. So, but it's been disturbing her sleep to have these ghosts around trying to talk to her while she's trying to sleep. And she didn't know what it was consciously. She would just wake up, in a panic. That was just some ghosts in her bedroom trying to chit chat. Some lonely ghosts. So, we can help ghosts cross over. Probably haven't done that in a while. And then we'll do a quick home energy clearing. Okay, so it doesn't mean like, your grandmother or your ancestors, like a whole bunch of genetic relatives from this lifetime, can come and be supportive and help you. And in some cultures, they even have altars in the home to like honor their ancestors. And, obviously there's nothing wrong with that, and, but what I'm talking about are people that haven't crossed over. So they haven't gotten all that relief and healing and life review stuff that you get when you cross over. So that's different than just, all your relatives, you let them visit your house because you love them. They've already crossed over. So then they got all these healings and they can come and visit whenever they want. So anyway, so just imagine your house. And if you have any ghosts in your house, you can just show them their angels. So imagine your house like a box, keep it simple. And then if you have any ghosts in or around your house, just line them up and just be like, hey, your angels are right here. Look right in front of you. Your angels are right in front of you. Yeah, and then most of them will just be like, oh. And you're not, this process isn't, well, even, and then you can just say, you're welcome. Because they'll go, but they'll want to say thank you because maybe they were a ghost for like 2 years and they really, really want to thank you. So if you have any ghosts in or around your house, again, you can just be like, hey, your angels are right here. So you imagine the ghosts and you imagine their angels and be like, see, look. So it's not a group healing. You're not giving them gold light or anything. You're just talking to them. Be like, hey, see, angels, your angels are right here. Big angels that can help you. And they can go with their angels. And you say, you're welcome. Because they're generally, they're very big on saying thank you, if you help them in that way. Okay, so that is helping ghosts to cross over, easy peasy. You're not directly healing them, you're just talking to them. So then, we'll do a quick home healing. Home energy clearing. So again, just imagine a really simple version of your home and just, like a big box maybe, or a big rectangle or multi-layered boxes if you have multiple floors to your home. And just use lots of gold light. Bring up red earth energy from the core of the earth, or orange or yellow. You can sort of check with the other people that live in your home. Maybe it's better for everyone to have yellow earth energy throughout the home, or orange or red earth energy. So that's kind of nice if you can pick one of the 3 colors of earth energy and just bring it up and soak in the house. And then lots of gold light. And of course, in the bedrooms, extra gold light for all the bedrooms, extra earth energy for all the bedrooms, and just any of the like dirty laundry areas. Like if people keep dirty laundry in their closet temporarily before they wash it, just wash those spaces extra. Anywhere where clothing is stored, because a lot of times people accidentally leave junk in their energy field. They leave it on their clothes when they wash them, or when they put them away, or when they are in dirty laundry piles. So just any clothing areas, give those extra clearing and healing with gold light. And you can do an earth energy soak too, bring up straight from the core of the earth, red or orange or yellow earth energy, and soak the whole property and the whole house. Gold light, the roof, the attic, the crawl space. Any invasive beings that are in the way. Just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in this property, anywhere in this property? If you live with other people that are adults, like if you have children that are below 18, you don't need to ask their consent on a spiritual level to heal the house. But if you, if you have a husband or, some other adult that you live in the house with, your angels already checked for you, but just as a good practice, you could double check and just be like, hey, is it okay for me to heal this house? Like I probably should have said that at the start, but I didn't. But everyone had already checked, and I forgot that I should say it out loud too. So yeah, out loud, you just ask, whoever you live with, ask them for consent. Just say, hey, I think it's going to help us sleep better if I clear it out a little. And then just, if they say yes, that's good. If they say no, don't heal the house, then you could say, well, can you ask your angels what they say about it? And then maybe they'll change their mind once their angels are like, dude, it's going to help you. But if they really say no, then you can just have your angels clear out the home, because angels are good, like diplomats that way. But so this is assuming you got consent from the other adults in the house, just telepathically on a spirit level to clear your house. But I got consent from everybody before I'm doing it. And, yada yada. So gold light through the house, especially anything that is causing sleep disturbances. That's what motivated me, because there was just this whole family that was like, oh, I can't sleep either, I can't sleep either. So yeah, that's a good reason. Also, kids are usually more sensitive than adults to like weirdness in the house. So even if just the kids have sleep issues, it's still a good reason to do home energy clearing. So lots of gold light. You can say, angels, can you please, clear out and heal my home and my property. And if there's communal property that's not yours, like for example, if you're an apartment dweller, then don't heal the whole building, because that's other people's places, don't, if you just own an apartment in an apartment building, don't heal the common areas, just heal your apartment. If you already did by accident, just be like, angels, can you help me with any diplomatic things I just messed up? And they'll help you with it. All right, so that's just a quick home clearing. Hopefully it will help you sleep better. If the energy of your home was impacting, negatively impacting your sleep. All right. So we helped ghosts cross over that may be in or around your home, and we did some just standard home energy clearing with gold light and earth energy. You can say angels if there are any invasive beings anywhere near the home. I think we did this once already, but why not again? If there are any invasive beings anywhere near the home, in the property or the house, or any possessions or anything, can you clear out, can you recycle any invasive beings anywhere? And so that's not perfect, but it's good to do. Good to request that. Okay. Done, done, done. The last thing, I think, I'm never sure it's done till it's really done, but I think this will be the last significant thing for sure. For sure. I think this will be the last significant thing, but we'll see. Is third chakra unblocking and also spiritual path unblocking. Because I was noticing part of the whole thing about feeling lost is if your spiritual path is like the road that you travel on. It's just for you, and it represents what you're meant to learn and experience. And so you can look, okay, am I on my road or am I lost? You know, if you're lost, if you're really lost, you're on a side road. You're not on the road of your spiritual path. So that's possible, but sometimes you feel lost, but you are on your spiritual path. It's just, there's a lot of like roadblocks ahead of you, and so you can't really see the way forward. It just looks like a big wall instead of like, oh, I see this pleasant road and I can see where I'm headed, and oh, it's so nice, you know? So sometimes that's energy blocks within your third chakra and your third layer. Third chakra has to do with action, taking action. And so sometimes you can have a parent when you're young that is a little bit dumpy when they try to teach you what to do and what not to do, maybe a little overly restrictive on an energy level. And so I was looking at this woman, and she got healings for herself and her brother and her sister. And she and her sister, they both got significant blocks here, and which translated to their path looking like it just has these big walls in front of them. And so that contributed to a little bit of fatigue, excess fatigue, because third chakra blocks shut down your third chakra, so then you feel less, you know, energy. And it also can make you feel a little lost, like I said. So we'll unblock the third and unblock the spiritual path, your spiritual path. Okay, so you imagine the road, and also you can imagine just maybe pile up any third chakra blocks that you have that are making your road feel blocked or making you feel unnecessarily tired. So third chakra blocks, you can just line them up out in front of you. I mean, you could actually literally unblock the third chakra, but we've done that kind of thing. So let's just pile them out in front of you. Third chakra blocks that make you feel like sort of directionless or lost. And maybe it's dumped energy from a parent that was like, no, you know, girls can't do this, or girls should do this, or, you know, whatever. So just any third chakra blocks, they can be really old, but any that are good to get rid of right now so that you feel more energy, you're not so run down. And then we'll alternate back and forth, but the other thing is to unblock your spiritual path, the road that is just for you. So you can unblock behind you too, because sometimes there's like heavy stuff that you're dragging forward with you, which obviously makes it harder to progress if you have to drag these big rocks behind you. So if you have any junk that you're trying to drag forward with you on your path, you can just melt that away. And then ahead of you on your path, you don't want big, giant, you know, blocks, roadblocks. So just melt away any roadblocks on your path, because you want to be able to progress, and you want it to be easy and pleasant, you know, relatively easy and pleasant. You don't want unnecessary difficulties. Like sometimes there'll be a challenge, but it's meant to be, and it helps you learn and grow and get stronger. But probably about, for most people, I mean, I would say for people that don't meditate, like maybe 90% of the difficulties that they experience is just because they're not healing themselves. Like it's not difficulties that they really need to have. They're just not healing themselves and their chakras are all banged up or whatever. But people that, get my healings regularly and maybe they do some of this stuff on themselves, maybe about half of the difficulties that they're experiencing are just unnecessary. And it's because their path is overly blocked up. So just imagine any unnecessary blocks on your path and melt them away with gold light. And imagine your path above you too, because you can have like a sunny sky that you like, or whatever kind of sky you like, or you can have sort of like angry dark clouds above you on your path that maybe make you feel sort of hopeless. So those could be invasive beings. So if you say angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? But then, maybe some of the clouds above you are just like energy from an old parent or something. Somebody who was trying to scare you or trying to be overly intimidating or strict. So you can just melt that stuff away. So again, we're unblocking your spiritual path, but specifically above you and ahead of you, above you on your path. So we're clearing all the junk that's not you and it's not healthy for you. And again, any third chakra blocks, you can just pile them out in front of you. Third chakra also has to do with good sleep, but has to do with taking action, feeling awake when you want to, finishing projects, starting projects, time management. So putting third chakra blocks out in front of you, melt them away with gold light from your hands. So third chakra blocks, especially ones that make you feel like sort of bored in a weird way or lost, directionless, like you don't know what to do. So third chakra blocks. While we're at it, we could do any blocks that make you feel socially unsatisfied. Any blocks that make you feel socially unsatisfied, and just melt them away with gold light. And again, just a little bit extra. If you on your path, you want to be able to move forward easily, straight up your path, up the middle of your path. So just take a look at that. And just melt away any unnecessary difficulties that, it's not like it's helping you learn or anything. Just, they're not essential to your learning. It's just making things harder. Just melt those away. You can say, I'm going to let my angels help me. I'm going to let my angels help me and guide me. If you want. All right. So that was clearing third chakra blocks and also unblocking your path. All right. So we'll just check, redo your gold buffer zones again, check everywhere, comb through all your auras, melt away hardness anywhere, stuck energy. Because, as I said, I did some extra stuff. During the 4 essentials part, I added a lot of extra stuff. And so during the aura repair part, I talked about, and we did extra aura unblocking, because aura unblocking makes your aura a lot safer, a lot stronger. So therefore, you're able to withstand more energy thrown at you and not get so much damage. Because if it flows, it's just stronger, your energy, if it flows. So we're just combing through, melting away stuck energy in your auras, above your head especially. Um, actually, one more thing. So that was just like aura comb through. Uh, one more thing. There's this one woman who usually she feels like the healings are beneficial and everything, but this whole set she's been like, I don't feel anything, you know. And I think what it is sometimes if you have unpleasant social history, you know, with family members or friends or neighbors or whatever, you can kind of numb out and be like, well, I don't need any of that, you know, screw that. Which, you know, I mean, through doing some of the stuff we did today, you can feel less of a need for, you know, social stuff. And that, you know, that's healthy. You could be introspective and be very healthy, you know, like an introvert, but be healthy. Um, but I think in her case, she's avoiding, you know, like the negative experiences, she didn't heal and clear from them. And so she just numbed out. She just decided to avoid a lot of social pain that she's experienced and not clear it. And so by not clearing it, then now she can't feel any of these healings because she's like walled off um, big parts of herself. Um, you know, in order to avoid dealing with things that have happened to her. So we'll do it quickly, but I want to clear what you're avoiding, and I want to heal walled off parts of you. Just so that you have more potential for enjoying, you know, because there are compatible people out there for you, you know, friends, acquaintances. There does exist the potential for pleasant social interaction. And if that doesn't feel real, it could be that this is, you know, you have some of this going on. And if it feels real, then this will just make it better. So anyway, this twofold thing. Just put out in front of you any social baggage that you've been avoiding. You know, just like you can put it way out in front of you. You know, like, this is all that I've been avoiding, and it's 20 miles away from me. You know, I mean, you don't have to put it 20 miles away, but anyway, just make big piles of what have you been avoiding socially. And they say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? And that way, if it's too much for right now, they'll store away some of it for you. But it might all be okay to clear. So whatever's left, just blow it up or melt it away with gold light. And you can, you know, do like long distance gold flamethrowers, you know, if you kept the pile far away from you. So, and you can do it again once you've melted those. So piles of all that you've been avoiding, social baggage, social dramas, whatever, social dumped energy, just whatever you've been avoiding and pretending it's not there, but totally is there. Just melt it all away. Lots of gold fire, gold water, blow it up. Whatever you need to do to really get rid of it as opposed to just pretending it's not there. Because that doesn't work. It just numbs you out and then you're not fully experiencing the joyous parts that you could be experiencing. So, okay. And this could be from past life stuff so that, you know, you could surprise yourself that there is stuff you're avoiding that you didn't, you're like, I'm not avoiding anything. And then you do the exercise and you're like, whoa. So anyway, okay, whatever else are you avoiding socially? Whatever baggage are you avoiding? And then just be like, angels, is this okay to clear all this? And then go ahead and melt it all away. All right. And if there's any leftovers, say, angels, can you help me with this? Okay, so that was clearing what you've been avoiding related to social stuff. And then now we'll just imagine some walled off parts of you that is part of all this avoidance stuff where you just, you know, something happened and a part of you couldn't get over it and you're just like, meh, 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 that's not there. The problem with that is your walled off part of you could be like invasive with a friend. Like, you know, the walled off part of you could be screaming at one of your friends, like in her space, screaming at them, you know, like that can happen. Or that walled off part of you can be whacking the crap out of your partner. and you're like, why is he so crabby with me? Like, what on earth? You know, but it's because a part of you that you've decided isn't there is like whacking the crap out of him. So technically you're starting it, but you had no idea, you know? So these walled off parts of you can get you in a lot of trouble. And also they affect your mood and stuff, you know, so let's deal with it, right? It's easy, simple, right? So you can just imagine like all these miniature little rooms with miniature versions of you that you've walled off, you know, so there's this big wall partition, right? And there's these little mini yous in these little rooms, and just say, angels, is it okay to work on all this right now? That way they'll get rid of some if it's too much. And then heal those parts of you. You don't want to get rid of the wall yet. Just heal those parts of you that you've walled off in the room. Like all those little mini yous. Bring up red earth energy, bring up orange earth energy, bring up yellow earth energy, lots of gold light. Just say, hey, you deserve a healing. It's okay, you didn't do anything wrong. It's all right. Lots of gold light. Red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy, lots of gold light. Okay, and then you can say, angels, can you help me finish healing these walled off parts of me? And then now, angels work pretty fast. So you can just breathe into your whole body. So that's probably long enough for your angels to finish up that healing. So then you get to melt the walls. So these parts you are not walled off, but they're already healed. So you don't have to feel yucky. You already healed those parts. And so now you melt the walls. So you're not like going, that energy's not mine. Just melt those little walls, the denial walls, avoidance walls, right? So just melt those away. So now you just get those parts of you back as, you know, regular flowing, healthy energy. Good job. So just a little comb through, redo your grounding, red or orange or yellow. Go through all your chakras, help them to unblock in the back especially, help to unblock 3, 2, and 1 especially. When in doubt, unblock your lower chakras, unblock your grounding, unblock above your head in the next few days. I mean, of course, if you need your 4 essentials because somebody's been whacking away at you, then you need that too. But just like post-healing stuff, unblocking above your head helps you bring in new energy of yours from the astral that you made with your sleep, with your angels in your sleep. And then unblocking your grounding allows you to keep releasing extra. And unblocking the back of your chakras, why not? Unblock the back of your aura. Redo your gold buffers. All right, good job. You're amazing. Woo, woo, woo. That's a healing. Woo, woo, woo. So if you want, you can type how the healing was for you. How do you feel? If you have any comments about the healing or about the topic. But this is not going to be a big Q&A discussion. I'm just interested if you want to give any instant feedback about how the healing was. And then if you wanted me to look at your energy, you could post that as a question under this video later, once it's a video, or under any video at any time. And I'll post a reply when I have time. Okay. Someone says, I love the summaries. Oh, probably at the start of the healing. That's nice. Thank you for the feedback. Someone says, I use the videos. Oh, I see what you're saying. You mean the written out summaries. Oh, good. Yeah, they take a good amount of work. And it's like right when sometimes I just don't want to work. So if they're useful, then that's worth it to me. But yeah, if you do use them, just give it a thumbs up so I know, like, you know, because it's, you know, I see a couple comments, but it'd be good to know like how many in general are using those summaries. So if you could give them a thumbs up. So this is, I use the video summaries and timestamp links a lot. They're really helpful to manage my time. Well, good. Yeah, that's why I do it. So it's good that it helps. Summaries are great for me. Thank you for that. And timestamps, yeah. Because, you know, you don't always have 2+ hours. Hi from sunny Chicago. Hello. Hi from Muckamore, Northern Ireland. Hello, hello. Love that name. We are having a heat wave too. Wow. It was 23 degrees Celsius. LOL. That is literally considered a heat wave over here. So, okay, I'm going to look that up. So 23 Celsius is about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not a heat wave for us. That's funny because we're pretty mild here. So is that a heat wave for you guys just in September, or even throughout the summer that would be considered a heat wave? Because that's interesting. So that's only 75 Fahrenheit, roughly. It's funny how relative everything is. Someone says, I use the timestamp links when redoing parts I need more of. Yeah, good to know. You know, I wanted to mention that because somebody said, oh, in their survey, they said, I wish the benefits that, like, she had gotten a lot of good benefits from the first 2 healings of the set already. And very noticeable to her. And so she was like, well, I wish the effects were, you know, lasted forever. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, of course you still need to do your 4 essentials over time, you know, because if all your chakras are smashed, it doesn't, you know, like a week from now, then, you know, you need to fix that. But if you find a healing set is especially beneficial, then you can go to the healing summary of whichever healing you feel it was, or if you feel all 3, then go to all 3 healing summaries and pick out, you know, with your intuition, because your intuition is better than you think, pick out what you think really kind of helped, and then you can repeat that, you know. And a lot of these sections, they're like 7 minutes long, 8 minutes long, 15 minutes tops, you know, so then that could be something that you repeat over time. You know, because if you're really getting some kind of extraordinary benefit, but you have a feeling like, oh, this is so not going to last, it could be you just need to redo it a couple more times to, like, there's more of that to clear. So yeah, that's a good reason to go to the timestamp links. I mean, sometimes you can just always go to them routinely, but especially if you feel like, oh, this healing especially had benefit for me, you know, you can repeat, you know, sometimes use your intuition. Do I need to repeat this? Do I need to repeat this? How much do I need to repeat it over the next week? That kind of thing. Someone says, my neighbor died a while ago and her spirit ghost comes into my unit and I smell a very bad smell. I often ask my angels to clear my unit. I wish I could tell her to stay out of my unit once and have it permanently work. Well, yeah, I mean, there's crossover ghost, and then there's crossover spirit, and then there's ghost. So it's 2 different things. I mean, the same person, but once they go to heaven, they're usually much more respectful, unless they have some kind of agreement with the building owner, which looks like the case there. So what you would have to do is have your angels work with the building owner, because if that person has an agreement on a subconscious spirit level with the building owner, that trumps your agreement with, you know, your like rights of that apartment. Normally, if you rent an apartment or a condo, you own it, like it's all yours, right? But especially if you just rent, you know, and then the subconsciously that owner, you know, so you may need to up your agreements with, if you rent, then with the owner, or if you own and it's a condo, there's something wrong with, maybe you don't own it and, you know, your mother does or somebody else does, but somehow there is an agreement that that person can visit. So you need to look at that, like whose agreement is that? Who is the owner on an energy level of where you're living? You know, and so do you rent, you know, all the legitimate things, because somehow she's not a ghost anymore, and she's sorry about the smell. I think it seems like cooking related smells. But anyway, yeah, I'm not supposed to read, but you can post later under a video if you want more on that. But yeah, look at agreements. Sun says, but other people's agreements that relate to your living space, and have your angels help with that. So it says, hi Janet, thank you for the healing. Time flew by so fast. I loved the third chakra work today. Normally I fear or avoid clearing that area altogether. Interesting. Yeah, third chakra, taking action. Productivity, time management, finishing projects, just make it happen. It's like a very active chakra. So yeah, if you avoid it, that's a big deal. It means that you're going to get a lot of good benefits from no longer avoiding it, of course. But try to make it fun, maybe sketch out, like you can do it in 2 dimensions. Sometimes people were saying like 3D reading of something, like imagining your third chakra like this is maybe too intimidating. So just, imagine the round opening, draw a round opening of the front of your third, draw a round opening from the back, is it half blocked, and just melt away the blocks, just make it easy, make it fun, however you do it. Or just, when you're watching TV or something, just put, your hands here, just keep sending gold light to your third. But yeah, if you're ever avoiding a chakra, that's a sign, Don't avoid. Don't avoid if you want to improve your life, basically. You can avoid, but if you want to create positive change, you have to change what you're doing, right? It's not just gonna come for no reason, right? Positive change means you are making changes, and that change affects what you're creating and what you're experiencing, right? So that would be an easy thing to, if there's a chakra that you never heal, go for it. So it says, thank you very much for this healing. By the end, when you worked with ghosts and home energy clearing, I felt just a bit sad but relieved. Interesting. That's very interesting. I could go into reading that, but I don't want to. I don't want to get into a reading. But yeah, that's funny. I mean, it looks good to clear your home, but yeah, I'm not going to read it. But that's cool. So it says, thank you so much, Janet. You're welcome. So it says, thank you, Janet. Really glad that you worked third chakra blocks and moving forward. Yeah, on the path. Yeah, feeling that I needed that also lately. I healed myself along towards the last 15 minutes. Cool. So it says, thank you, Janet. I feel really clear and alert, like all the junk clouding up my space got cleared out. Thank you. Ooh, nice. Yeah, we did do a lot. Alert kind of reminds me of the work we did with the creative rings and the 7th chakra, but also third chakra. Yeah, so like this is sort of mentally alert. This is sort of like take charge, take action kind of alert. So that's interesting. Yeah. Because we did, during the creative ring section, we did an extra amount of 7th chakra work as well. So creative rings and 7th chakra, that's sort of mental alert, and this is sort of take charge, take action kind of alert, which we also did towards when we did the spiritual path stuff. We did 3rd chakra. All right, thank you for the triplet set. I was feeling exhausted throughout the healing, but pulled through. Interesting. Your mom is in your space. You can just wash her out. Yeah. Yeah, less set. I felt like it would be good to redo the manifestation wing shoulder work every other day, 3 more times to get the crusty stuff out of it. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it's nice. The more work of this you do, the better your intuition gets, and the more you kind of trust it. I think most people's intuition is actually pretty decent when doing this kind of stuff, but then you tend to act on it more, and then you make a lot more progress. So good for you. That's cool. All right. So any garden stories? Not really. Let's see. Oh, I watered my tomato plants last night in the dark because we're supposed to ration our water right now, which is so stupid because it's not like we have a drought where we live or anything, but we had the water company put off repairing this one street, the pipes on this one street. Apparently they've been leaking for like a whole year. So finally those pipes totally burst. And, you know, everybody lost water pressure in the whole neighborhood. And so finally they're like, oh yeah, we're going to repair that street. It's like, oh, good idea, dude. You know, but it came out that they've been avoiding it for a whole year. But anyway, long story short, they're like also fixing some of the wells that apparently they should have fixed already, but they were putting it off. But then with this pipe broken, it kind of, they just got embarrassed that all this stuff needed repairing that hasn't been done. So anyway, we were kind of supposed to like water less because they were like trying to guilt trip everybody that it wasn't their problem, that, oh, people were overwatering their lawns, which nobody waters their lawns here. You know? And me and my tomatoes, it's not all that serious, you know? So, but anyway, so I watered my tomatoes last night. I was like, screw it. I'm not going to kill my tomatoes because they didn't fix their pipe for the last year. But I waited till it was like almost dark before I went around and watered my tomatoes. So there's that. So that's my garden story, watering tomato plants in the dark. In the almost dark. And then by the end, it was really dark. I had to like use the light on my phone and like water. But anyway, any other garden stories? No. I talked about my tomatoes at the start too. So I'll just show my puppies. Abel had to have his cone on because this morning he was so fidgety, and during this healing he was very fidgety. I kept asking the angels, please make him shut up. So finally it worked. All right. So there is my fidgety boy. His name is Abel. And there is my other boy, who can be fidgety, but only if he has to go to the bathroom. So there they are. Finally all peaceful. So, okay, I hope you're having a good day or evening, whatever's next for you. I hope that you start to wrap your brain around that we're in September, if you're watching this in September. You can give yourself a heart chakra healing and be like, okay, I'm going to love myself extra. Give 7th and 4th. I'm going to love myself extra in September. I'm going to make September special. Yeah, extra gold light. You know, whatever you need for September. Like, do you need it to be more peaceful? Do you need it to be more warm and fuzzy? Do you need it to be more cute? Do you need to be more confident in September? You know, just maybe giving yourself some positive goals and some healing, and just reminding yourself what month it is, whatever it is, when you're doing this. All right, good. You're amazing. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to take some time off. So you can definitely post your questions under a video, but I'll be taking the next week off after I do that healing summary, which will take me hours, which is okay.